All right, let's talk about something that I think we've all felt. You ever leave a party or a family dinner or a meeting at work and you get in your car and just think to yourself, wait a minute, who was that? You know that feeling, right? Where it feels like your personality, your sense of humor, even the way you talk just completely changes depending on who you're with. Well, today we are diving deep into why that happens. So just imagine this. You're at a party with your closest friends, the people you've known forever. You're on fire. The inside jokes are flying, you're loud, you're telling that story that makes everyone cry laughing. You are absolutely the life of the party. And this version of you, it feels so easy, so natural. But then, maybe a few nights later, you're at a formal dinner. Maybe it's with your partner's boss or some relatives you don't know that well. And suddenly, poof, the comedian is gone. Now you're this quiet, thoughtful person. You're listening intently, nodding, asking really polite questions. You're a diplomat. And then, of course, there's Monday morning. You walk into the office and a third version of you shows up. This you is all business. You're focused, you're efficient, you're using professional language. Another person perfectly adapted for that environment. And this is the question that just messes with our heads, isn't it? It can make you feel like a total fraud, like you've got this deep case of imposter syndrome. It makes you wonder if you even have a solid core identity. But what if I told you that maybe, just maybe, all of them are the real you? So let's get into how this actually works. This isn't just some weird personality quirk that you have. Nope, this is a fundamental part of human psychology. We are hardwired from birth to be influenced by the groups we're in. It's this powerful and usually invisible force that is constantly shaping who we are. And the first big idea we gotta talk about is conformity. You can really just think of it as a social survival instinct. We all have this deep, often unconscious need to fit in. Sometimes it's because we want to be liked and accepted by the group. Other times it's because we just assume the group knows more than we do, so we go along with them. Either way, it's all about staying connected and safe within the tribe. Now, check out this number, 75%. That comes from this kind of wild psychology experiment by a guy named Solomon Asch. He'd bring a person into a room full of actors and show them a really simple task. Match a line to one of 3 other lines of different lengths. The answer was always super obvious. But then all the actors in the room would intentionally pick the wrong line. And get this, a whopping 75% of the real participants knowingly gave the wrong answer at least once just so they wouldn't stand out. That's how powerful the pull of the group can be. And that leads right into this next layer. It's not just about wanting to fit in. It's about how the group's behavior starts to feel like the correct behavior. We look around, we see what everyone else is doing, and that becomes our mental blueprint for what's normal and what's expected in that specific situation. Okay, so we've got the external social pressure, but what's going on inside our brains that makes this happen? Well, it turns out our brains come with this incredibly sophisticated social toolkit. And listen, this isn't just a bug in your system, it's a feature. I want you to meet your mirror neurons. These little guys are the reason you cringe when you see someone trip, or feel a bit of joy when you see someone laugh. They're the hardware for empathy. But for some of us, these neurons are working overtime. They make you unconsciously mimic someone's accent, their posture, their energy level, without even trying. And I absolutely love this way of putting it. For people who are really sensitive to their environment, it's not just about noticing the vibe in a room. It's like your brain is instantly downloading it directly into your own nervous system. You walk in and you feel the tension, or the excitement, or the sadness, almost as if it's your own. So why are some people's brains so good at this? Well, a lot of the time, it's a survival skill that we learned when we were kids. Think about it. If you grew up in a house where you had to instantly read a parent's mood to know if you were safe, you got really, really good at picking up on tiny social cues. You learned that making other people comfortable or diffusing a tense situation was how you kept yourself safe. That skill became second nature. And this is so important to understand. If this sounds like you, you are not being fake. You are not weak. You are using a highly advanced social tool that your brain developed to protect you. It's actually a sign of incredible emotional intelligence. Okay, but, and there is a but, there's a fine line, isn't there? When does this amazing skill stop being a tool and start feeling, well, inauthentic? How do we know when we've crossed over into territory that's actually hurting us? This right here is the key. On one side, you have adapting. That's when you show a different but still real part of yourself. It feels positive, empowering even. It helps you connect with people. On the other side, you have pretending. That's when you're actively hiding what you really think and feel. And that just feels exhausting and empty, right? It leaves you feeling completely disconnected from yourself. So here's the ultimate test. Ask yourself this question. Are you going against your core values just to get people to like you? I mean, being considerate is one thing. That's great. But laughing at a joke you find offensive or agreeing with an opinion that makes your stomach turn, that's when adaptation becomes a problem. That's when it starts to chip away at who you really are. So let's bring this all home with a new way to think about this, a really empowering reframe. Instead of seeing this as some kind of character flaw, let's start looking at it for what it truly is, an incredible skill. And this is the big idea I want you to walk away with. You are not lacking in identity. You're multilingual. The comedian, the diplomat, the professional, those aren't fake people. They're just different social languages that you speak fluently. It doesn't mean you don't have a core self. It means you're smart enough to connect with all kinds of different people on their own terms. Honestly, it's a superpower. So the goal isn't to stop adapting. That's impossible, and it would be a waste of your talent. The real goal is to spend so much time speaking all these other languages that you forget how to speak your own native tongue. You have to make sure you take the time to be alone and just be you with no audience. And I want to leave you with a fun question to think about, because we all do this to some extent. What's the weirdest little habit or phrase or even accent that you've accidentally picked up just from being around someone else for a while? Seriously, think about it. It's a pretty funny reminder that we all have a little social chameleon inside us.